This is Sound Experience, the show that explores the vast world of audio production through the experiences of our guest and the ears of your host, mixing engineer and producer Tim Dolbear.
Hey, welcome to Sound Experience. I am Tim Dolbear, your host. We are powered by Intertalk Radio, the voice of the music biz. And I want to give a big shout out to a bunch of our sponsors real fast, the Blackbird Academy, who I'll actually be at this Wednesday teaching at. So I'm looking forward to that. Say hi to the crew out there. Can't wait to see everybody. Front End Audio, your ultimate pro audio dealer. Also Great River Electronics and Source Connect by Source Element, who makes this all possible because I'm able to sit in my studio here in Austin, Texas, and the WS Radio is sitting in San Diego, in the beautiful San Diego, and we're able to attach and make this all happen. So we really appreciate their help with all of this. So let's see what's coming up on my calendar. Coming up in the next few weeks, we have next week, the 23rd, we have the most recorded drummer in history, John Robinson, or JR. Looking forward to that. We're going to talk all about miking techniques, drum techniques, and approaches for when you're a session drummer and you're approaching a new song freshly. After that, on June 6th, we have Bob Katz, mastering guru, will be joining us. And then on the 13th of June, I have Moses Avalon coming in. He wrote a book called Confessions of a Record Producer, which is a really good read. So we'll be going to dive into that and answer a bunch of questions and stuff. And then also we have I have a thing going on right now on my blog. I want to invite you guys out to. Remember, if you can get to my blog either through timdolbear.com or you can go to intertalkradio.com Sound Experience. And when you get to the Sound Experience page, you will see a link to my blog. And on there, we're going to be, what's a good word for it? There's a good word. I don't have it, so I'll just say we're going to be showing as we go how we're rebuilding an MCI quarter-inch mastering deck. It's going to be really fun. There's lots of pictures, and we're completely stripping the whole thing apart and rebuilding it to be turned into hopefully a perfectly working Sony MCI JH110B mastering deck, quarter-inch and hopefully half-inch stack also on there, that we'll be using here at Eclectica Studios. So if you want to see the kind of nightmare that I've gotten myself into with with the tape deck, follow my blog and you'll see all of it. So let's dive right in today. Today we're going to talk with one of my mentors, Keith Olsen. And Keith, if you have to know his work if you don't know him just by name. He's produced and engineered half of my music collection, easily half of it. He's worked with Fleetwood Mac, as in he did the first album and helped get Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks in the band. So basically, helped put it all together. He worked with Foreigner, Grateful Dead, Heart, Pat Benatar's first two albums, Ozzy Osbourne, Santana, The Babies, Sammy Hagar, Whitesnake, as in the big Whitesnake album, Joe Walsh. He even did Rick Springfield's Jesse's Girl. And he has a book out. It's been out for a few years now, but it's fantastic. It's a great read, and it's one of those reads that you want to read it every year to just keep digesting it and getting the stuff in there. And it's called A Music Producer's Thoughts to Create By. So I welcome to our show, Keith Olsen.
Hey, Tim. How you doing?
Doing good. I am so thankful that you came onto the show and are willing to share your wisdom with all of us.
Well, I'm sitting here near Lake Tahoe. The show comes from San Diego, and you're in Austin, so just cool.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. When the station approached me to do this, that was my first question: is how are the logistics of all of this? And it's really simple. I love technology. So can you fill us in on what you've been up to? Last time I talked to you was about 8 years ago, but I know many people would want to know what you're up to.
Oh, we've emailed a bunch of times back and forth since then.
Yeah.
But 8 years ago, it was a long time ago. I was living in Arroyo Grande at the time and had escaped to Los Angeles many years before. And seriously, it was an escape because it was just got too crazy down there. It used to be all about the music, but then it became all about managers, lawyers, guns, money, and all that stuff.
Right.
And it wasn't, I remembered when music was really an art form, and it was really a down,
Yeah.
How it just went so south so fast when the industry turned, and so I decided to do some other things, and then only do projects I really want to do, and and set up a mixing studio here where I can mix on my own time and my own with my own set of rules, and not be under the gun, shall we say?
Exactly. So less big label work and more independent work.
Yeah, it's all independent work. It's just the big label stuff just doesn't excite me. It's
right.
One of those things where they don't care about me and I don't care about them. The only time I care about them is when it comes time to pay royalties. There, I said it.
Exactly. Well, it's the truth, though.
And if they don't pay royalties, I really care about them.
Yeah, so many people, we talk about how it's art. It's all about the song. It's about the music and the art of it. But we have to be realistic about the fact that there's a whole business side. And I remember the first time I went to Goodnight LA Studios, you sat me down in the control room, and I thought, wow, he's going to show me all the coolest things possible of all of this great gear. And you talked to me for about 2 hours about money and financials. And I remember you even saying, you said to me, you don't have any money now, but you will. Let's talk. And it was the best sit-down advice stuff I've ever gotten studio-wise.
Well, the financial stuff is the most important thing because you have to be able to back it up. It's today you can you don't have to spend $200,000 making an album. You can spend an awful lot less, and and have it really high end quality, mm-hmm. But then you have to be able to market it, and the marketing of your project, especially now, there are so many social media sites where you can get exposure, and it's not so much about selling a record as it is about selling yourself as an artist. And once you sell yourself as an artist, and people will actually come and pay money to see you, hoorah! That's where you have to be.
Exactly.
And it
there's
takes
a
money
lot
to do that.
Absolutely. And also it takes the right type of artist, because so many artists I run into don't really want to get out and travel and play shows and tour and work at getting that exposure that you get through touring. And that's an important part at this point.
Well, it's the only way, because you can get some of the exposure by just pounding it down everybody's throats with social media, or you do it the way the major labels do it, and they just pound it and pound it and pound it with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, to build an artist persona. But it's still all of that. They still have to get out and play in front of people, and you have to be able to tour, and you have to be able to dedicate yourself 24/7 to it.
In your role that you're doing right now, you said setting up a mixing studio and such. Are you also still producing then?
Yeah. I do a project or a couple of projects a year. I mix maybe 2 other things for other people a year, and I do it the same way just about everybody does. We have hybrid systems, and we work in Pro Tools, and and it can kill you, and it can be very, very helpful. I'm talking about Pro Tools, because
right.
it can. It really does. It does become the well, what do I want to say to be politically correct?
You don't have to be politically correct on here. We're all engineers.
It's the bane of the industry. I mean, you love it, or you leave it, and it's like, and we're all forced to love it because we're all forced because we grew into this form of recording and mixing and everything else. We grew into this when the big studios started closing down, and the cash flow wasn't there to do it. And so, like Lee Sklar said, hey, I asked him, I said, hey, Lee, what have you been doing lately? He says, driving from bedroom to bedroom, putting on bass on people's tracks. And, and that's what he does. He actually goes from bedroom to bedroom. And, and my mixing room is, when I built my house here, I actually built a room the right size to put a studio in. And so it's not a converted bedroom. And I'm happy. I can walk from my bedroom to it. I don't have to get in a car, which is really good because I did that at Goodnight LA for too many years.
Yeah, when I moved out here to Austin, one of my questions for you was, do I move to a commercial space like I had in LA, or do I look for property? And you were instantly jumping all over. Find a property with a building on it, so that way you're not paying two rents, you don't have double the expense, and the whole industry is changing. And this was 10 years ago when you told me. It was right on the money.
Well, I think it was a little longer than 10 years ago I told you that, wasn't it? Wasn't that
almost
before,
exactly. Almost exactly 10 years to the day.
Wow.
Oh, music's playing.
Yeah.
Music's playing. Okay, so hold that thought, and
we'll
be back. No, hang on. We'll be right back after these commercials. You're listening to Sound Experience, powered by Intertalk Radio, the voice of the music biz.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
The richness of your life is reflected in the shimmering elegance found at Olsen Design. One-of-a-kind jewelry and pieces from Cynthia Dillon in silver and gold help to express your unique personality. The flowing designs of her creations will empower the way you move throughout your day. Join us online at DIOLUNdesigns.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
In the military, things can change in an instant. At Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. Vin Village connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. Vin Village is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
This is Sound Experience, the show that explores the vast world of audio production through the experiences of our guest and the ears of your host, mixing engineer and producer Tim Dolbear.
All right, talking with Keith Olsen. So back to what you were saying about building a specific room when you were building your new place. Tell us about that, if you would. Tell us about gear choice. Let's get geeky on it.
Well, the gear choice was pretty easy. You know, it's Pro Tools, of course, and then, but I needed a physical box to touch on. So I have a D command icon D command that I use.
Yes.
So I have 24 faders in front of me, and so I can spin through stuff fairly quickly. And then I've got this. Let's see, it's Rupert Neve Portico 2, and then a couple of Neve 3609s, and then X-Logic SSL stereo compressors, and then, believe it or not, a Pro R3 and a so it's it's some weird gear and some, but just it's just enough to be to have a good hybrid system. I mix with the Mackie speakers that I was. When I worked at Mackie, we came up with a 2.8 Diapolito, a dual 8-inch woofer, and a great tweeter. And I have the serial number 001 that was the ones that we did all our testing on and flattening on it. And they're great. Hopefully they won't break anytime soon, because if they break, I'm screwed.
Absolutely.
And then we go to Adams or Focals or something like that. But the acoustic treatment around the room was all done by Anthony Gramani, so it's really accurate. And I don't know if when I first met you, the acoustic treatment at Goodnight LA had been done so long before that by George Massenberg. But it was really, you got to have a room that will go down to low D on a bass guitar, low E on a bass guitar, unless you're tuning it down. You got to have a room that's big enough so you can hear it. So it's got to be 19 feet. So you have your halfway. You have to have your first reflection points so smooth across the spectrum, and so the stage that you're listening to is even. And then the rest of it is just let your ears be the boss, so to speak. People ask me, well, what kind of mic do you use on this? I said, I don't know. What's it sound like? You got to be there. And same thing with drum miking, piano miking, guitar miking. There's placement tricks that you can do, but you got to be in the room. You got to hear what it sounds like. You got to use your own ears, and then use your, But I was, when it comes to big electric guitars, I like to shaver the mics. You know what I mean by shavering?
I don't think I know it by that term, but you're two mics, space them out, comb filtering?
Well, you take your mic, you turn the amp all the way up until all you're getting out of the amp is white noise. You put a pair of headphones on, you're listening to the mic that you have, and you move it across the plane of the speaker until you get the highest frequency, and it will go. And where you have the highest frequency is the place where the speaker motor, the voice coil magnet, basket, support system, that motor is the most efficient. And then you put and so where that mic is actually physically hearing that, cool, you're there. And so what I do with guitar amps is, as I'm doing that with, and I usually just use a 57 when I'm shavering stuff, and I'll just hold the mic, and when I get it to where it's the highest frequency, I'll put an X with, white grease pencil right at the spot, and you can just put the mic right there. And then you can start playing with different mics. But a 57 works really great for really loud crunch guitars, and then you start going into condensers and small diameter condensers, and you start messing with it until you get the exact sound you want. But at least you have a point where the speaker is the highest efficiency and is the flattest and is actually reproducing what the amp is doing.
You ingrained into me to make sure that the sound source was great before you do anything. First of all,
yeah, I think I said remember the source is how I explained it. It's because if the guy's playing a really terrible guitar part and it sounds terrible, it's going to record terrible. Regardless what you do, it's not going to get any better. So take it down right to the very source. Now, if the guy is playing a cool part and you can make the amp sound really cool, okay, now the trick is to just get it into the control room. So it's, and that's where, let physics and, be your friend. I used to tip my, I used to always put my guitar amps off the floor and in a corner, so I could, and so I had, the bottom end coming from a corner, and then just use that really pinpoint placement of the mic, and by having it, off the floor, your direct versus reflected sound, it's like so far away and so different, it doesn't matter anymore. The direct versus reflected sound. Same thing with toms. When you take a tom-tom and a floor tom, for instance, and you tilt it a little bit off axis, so it's not perfectly parallel with the floor, all of a sudden the direct versus reflected sound, it doesn't come straight back at the mic, and the mic isn't hearing it, that 4 milliseconds late,
Also, the fact of the sound bouncing off the floor up into the tom's skins on the actual heads, that makes a big difference. I noticed the minute I started tilting. Continue.
All of a sudden, you don't have that extra resonance of that, where it starts sounding like, poink. Even though the skin is really loose, it still sounds like poink. So it goes boom, 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 poink.
Yep, I started tilting my floor toms because of that, and every drummer I've had in my rooms have always looked at me when I've asked them to do that. And a lot of times I'll actually stick, because I have cement floors, I will stick some high-density foam underneath there also to cut down on some of it also.
Yeah,
and
that slap coming back.
Yeah, isolates it wonderfully.
Yep.
Speaking of
all
sound,
of that stuff.
Go ahead.
So you have concrete floors. Have you built a drum riser yet? Out of
not at this
2x6s?
Not at this one. Kept it on the floor.
Do it the next time you record.
Yeah. Well, the sound of my drums that I get here, I'm not touching anything. When we first moved in here, we wanted to put wood floors in and ran out of budget, of course. And at my wife's suggestion, she said, paint it. I've heard great painted rooms. So we painted the cement just for the 6 months. And if you gave me wood flooring right now or anything else, I would just turn it down or put it in my house if it looked nice. And
but Tim, remember, don't put wood directly on the concrete. No, build a riser.
Well, it would be floated.
Yeah, float it, and then just have, because that way, when the drummer comes in and he wants to pound a nail into the front of his kick drum because he's going to hit it so hard and you don't want it to go across the floor, say, go ahead. It's just a 2x6, you know? And so that way, it really it changes it warms it up. It gives another resonant surface instead of just a reflective surface.
Interesting. I always keep the kick drum off the floor, so the actual pegs and pedal are keeping the body bit off the floor. And then I have a stopping system that's directly mounted to the cement, so it can't move.
A piece of rope.
Exactly. No.
Piece of rope to the drum seat.
Actually, it's 3x2, and it goes into a mounting system that is bolted into the cement. When you own the place, it's nice. You can do crazy things. And yeah, it doesn't move. No drifting of the drum kit away from the microphones. So I got about 10 seconds, I think, before my clock tells me the music's going to start on this next one. So
all right.
On the next commercial break.
Build a drum riser. Now it's 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Can I borrow some money for budget, though? We'll talk about that when we get back.
It's only about $100.
Hey, sometimes. All right, so we'll be right back with Sound Experience, powered by Intertalk Radio, the voice of the music biz. We'll be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
One person has the power to change the world, impact millions of lives, and leave a legacy for lifetimes to come. That person is you. In the New York Times bestseller, What is Your What?, Steve Olsher, award-winning author and founder of the Reinvention Workshop, reveals his proven process that has helped thousands of men and women discover, share, and monetize the one thing they were born to do. Grab your free copy now at www.whatisyourwhat.com/free. That's www.whatisyourwhat.com/free.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
This is Sound Experience, the show that explores the vast world of audio production through the experiences of our guest and the ears of your host, mixing engineer and producer Tim Dolbear.
Hey, welcome back to the second half of Sound Experience, powered by Intertalk Radio, your voice of the music biz. And let me give a real quick shout out to some more of our great sponsors. We have Blackbird Academy, hands-on training for studio and live sound, frontendaudio.com, your ultimate pro audio dealer, and mine. Great River Electronics, making my favorite preamps. If you know me, you know. And Source Connect by Source Elements. That helps us connect up. So, all right, you want to dive into a couple other things, such as tracking vocals. I would love to know some of your approaches for getting great takes out of people.
Oh, well, let's see. You can start with a really great singer.
Yeah.
So I'll start there. Okay, now that we know that we have a great singer in the other room, let's look at the chain that we're going to give him. It's got to be, a really good mic. But most importantly, more than the chain of a mic and preamp and I/O and all of that stuff, it's what you're going to send back to him. What's he going to hear in his headphones? How good is that going to sound? And if it sounds really good, it's amazing what they will give. Because remember, they're standing there, they're basically naked in front of a mic. And so to get a great vocal, make sure what you're folding back to them is really great. Never just think that's, he just needs to know where he is and he's going to take one headphone off. No. Totally immerse the singer in this.
So are you talking like add things like reverb to their voice if they're asking for reverb and such?
Well, make sure that, first off, they're not just hearing a flat, dry, dead sound. Make sure that the track that you're sending into his cans has everything, so his pitch reference is going to be spot on. Make sure that the balance between all the tonal instruments is about where you're going to have it in the final mix, because that's going to establish the pitch reference for your singer. I know there's pitch correctors and all this stuff, and we all use them a little tiny bit, but if you can get it before pitch correctors sucks the life out of it, and so it doesn't sound like a human being singing anymore, that way you're going to be so much better off.
Yep.
So just make sure and then remember, up is down, down is up when it comes to fullback of the singer's own voice. The louder you put it up in his cans, the flatter you'll sing.
Yep.
So turn it down. That's a finite blend, and that's something that, you have to use your ears to kind of tune him, and then just make sure that you have enough effects and some delays and stuff on it. So after he is done singing that note, he is hearing a tiny little bit of that note, so he can adjust to his own pitch reference to what's going on. It's psychoacoustic, but it happens. And then the other part is just make sure that that you have enough headroom in the preamp. I don't know how many times you've gotten vocals and had to mix something or final mixes where it's so clipped that it just, the top end is just gone because it's all just square waves. And so it's just, so make sure that you're giving it enough room so you're not clipping it in the DAW. Give your preamp enough room so you're not clipping it in the preamp. Make sure that all the way along the line, look at the gain structure of what you're doing.
So have you ever tracked with vocals that don't want to use headphones?
Yes, a couple of times.
Want to elaborate on it?
And
you don't have to give names if you don't want.
No, I won't give names because it didn't work that well.
Okay.
Because it was, I proved it to them that they could do it the other way. I have had artists that would not stand there in front of a mic, but wanted to hand hold the mic. I said, sure, go for it. And just put enough rubber around it so that when they grab it, it's not going to just be a ton of quote, mic handling noise. I've had that a lot, where they have to hold on to it. But there again, if you get your gain structure right, your compression and limiting right, they can work the mic within a room, and not have to hold it, and if they're hearing what it's supposed to feel like to them, yeah. Usually when somebody wants to just sing to speakers in a room, they want it too loud, and they want it to the point where the amount of leakage is unacceptable. It just ruins the sound of the whole track, so you have to find another way.
So you have a really interesting story you told me about Whitesnake when they were recording "Still of the Night." Do you remember that story?
Well, does that have to do with the three mics or the one about the mic stand?
Actually,
there's
a couple other stories I haven't heard about. I'm talking about he's just not getting up there and hitting that note for the big part in "Still of the Night." Just in a room, it's just not fun.
Well, remember, any singer, they need to support the note. It's all about diaphragm support. When they are, Lou Gramm, for instance, from Foreigner, he would look down and pull his right arm into his side, make a fist, and he would then tighten his diaphragm so much that his tone and his pitch would be perfect all the time. And Coverdale would do the same thing, but he did it with a mic stand. He had this titanium mic stand. Not to hold the mic, because the mic was sitting on an overhead, a boom mic. But he would take that and he would actually squeeze the mic stand against his diaphragm. And so when he went for, especially those high notes, in "Still in the Night, Still in the Night, Still in the Night," he would pull it into him so far that he bent this titanium mic stand. It was unbelievable. Anybody could, it was big and it was strong. Nobody was going to bend that, but he did.
Wow, that's cool. See, now that's a cool story, and it's different than the one I was even thinking about.
Well, the other story about "Still of the Night" was that David wanted to do we wanted to do the hardest song first, and so we decided to do "Still of the Night" first, and because he had to get that monkey off his back, and so we came in the first day and had I'd already got the headphone level, everything that he was hearing in his cans really well, and he said, "Well, what kind of mic are we going to use?" And I said, "Well, I put 3 up there." And this isn't the day when you didn't have an unlimited number of tracks.
Right.
It was a 24-track machine. And, we only had 3 or 4 tracks to record the lead vocal on. So I had my go-to mic, which was my AKG 414, and I had Neumann and something else, and I can't even remember what the something else was. And I wasn't going to use those. I was going to use my go-to mic. And so I said, look, so David, don't worry about it. Just sing the song through, and we're going to sing it through 3 times, and we'll try different mics, just to take away all the pressure from it. And he sang the shit out of that thing the first take. And I said, great, let's just try the other mic. Bang, ready to go, next take. And said, oh, wow, okay, well, better try the third mic. I'm using the same 414 all 3 takes. And in those 3 takes is that vocals that's on that record, which there's some 20 million odd copies of it out there in record land now. So.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. There's not a single story you could tell about him that would show him in a bad light because he would sing right over the top of that bad light. It's just amazing performance on that album.
He is he's a world-class singer.
Oh,
so
yeah.
when you have a world-class singer who didn't have any confidence walking in and doing that hardest song, take away all those fears, and I got that vocal out of him in 3 takes.
That's awesome.
And so I told David, go rest while I,
comp this together?
While I go take it down.
Awesome. Okay, let's take another break, and we'll be back with our final little segment. This is Sound Experience, powered by Intertalk Radio, the voice of the music biz. We'll be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Attention business owners. Does it feel like your business owns you? See if you qualify for a free 90-minute business coaching session to help you build a business, not a job. During this free 90-minute strategic consultation, one of our senior coaches will help you map out the best way to grow your company and get your life back. To learn more, go to MauiMasterminds.com/scale-now. That's MauiMasterminds.com/scale-now.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Whichwich.com.
This is Sound Experience, the show that explores the vast world of audio production through the experiences of our guest and the ears of your host, mixing engineer and producer Tim Dolbear.
Hey, welcome back to Sound Experience, powered by Intertalk Radio, your voice of the music biz. We are on with Keith Olsen, and I wanted to turn our attention to more of the producer type thing. And I wanted to ask you, so how do you get hooked up with artists to produce? Do you seek them out? Is it through submissions to you? How are you finding people?
Yeah, it's changed over the years.
Right.
In the beginning, you went out and hit the street, hit the clubs, get in with bands, get in with musicians. That's in the beginning. Then as your career goes a little bit longer, you get a manager and a manager/agent, and they're hammering all the record companies all the time, getting you projects. And then as you don't need that, and the music industry changes a little bit, and then it's all from submissions, word of mouth, people contacting you on your website, and this, that, and the other thing. Oh, by the way, my website is pogologoproductions.com, because my other two, because of wonderful WordPress, now that crashes the site every time they do an update, so we've had to just get it down to one until the cPanel stuff goes to all the other sites, Keith Olsen Music, Keith Olsen Productions, all the other domains that all point to Pogologo Productions.
Cool. And make sure at the end of the program when we're on with the producer, go ahead and give them the address, and we'll make sure it ends up on the website where people can stream and listen to this.
It's at the bottom of my email to you.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
I will send you another one, and so that way you don't miss it. But anyway, it's, so finding artists, I actually found a couple of artists on Music X-Ray. People have submitted stuff to me, and I give them a critique, and then if I like it, or if they get back with something different, or it's better, or a lot better, then we start a conversation, and then it just goes from there, and it's been pretty neat. And a couple others have been just submissions on my website.
Great. Here's a really tough question for you I have written down. What is it that you wish all of your clients knew before they walked in the door the first time with you?
Well, that we're there to play music, not work at it. Play is the four-letter word here. That's what we got to do. Is we got to remember, nobody wants to really leave the sandbox. It was way too much playing in it all when we were kids. So, we play music. Play. That's the four-letter word. That's really the important one.
Oh, a thing that I've really pounded show after show after show, and so listeners have heard me say this over and over with everybody, and everyone always seems like we're on the same page, but of course it still happens out there, is that this programs such as Pro Tools and other digital audio workstations and such are there as a replacement for, you could say, tape reel-to-reel, and allow us to do edits that need to happen. And all of these toys and plugins and everything else that us as engineers have are there for when they're needed. Just because you have them doesn't mean you need to use them on everything. That it turns producing a song and working on a song into playing a video game. And it's not about a video game. It's about capturing art, capturing a great song.
Yeah, I wish you could tell that to half the artists out there, though. But,
I tell that to everybody.
Because
everybody.
I know, but they don't believe it.
Yep.
They don't believe it. I mean, I've known a lot of artists, none that I've worked with, that actually go in to a studio, sing through it one time, and they say, "There you have it, fix it," and we'll walk out.
Yep.
come on, we're all in this together.
Well,
And
there's
no,
always going to be
Pro
bad
Tools-
production, and there's always going to be good production. And so the thing is
I
for
know,
us to
but
strive
see,
for the
with-
good.
I know we can strive for it, and sometimes we have been, you know, as a producer, you
Mm-hmm.
get yourself locked into saying, well, my name's going on this too. It better be really good. So you do anything and everything you can, spending way too much time making sure it's great before it goes out. Where you're
Absolutely.
the only one really hammering yourself.
Absolutely. An interesting thing was mentioned at I was at an event in Los Angeles over the weekend. I was hanging out with Mark Fuller, and he brought up the fact of, you ever notice when you're in a store listening to music over the PA system or whatever, in the food store, elevator, wherever it is that there's music, you can hear pitch correction and auto correction 100 times more than if you're just listening to the music through a stereo system. That it just exaggerates, and you can hear the falseness in the voice at that point, and the syntheticness comes through. So
I think
kind of
part of
answers-
that is because you're hearing a mono source, because it's, those speakers in the ceilings of stores, that's not stereo.
No, not at all.
So you're hearing all the artifacts.
Yep.
And so it does make it worse than it makes it awful. But there's a couple of things that I wanted to make sure that your listeners understand, is that
sure,
making music is really supposed to be fun. It's it's what we have been doing for so long, and having so much fun doing it, and it's just and it all comes out, and people, in the end, what happens is that melodies and lyrics, stories that are great, live on and on and on. I mean, geez, some of the stuff that I did, my God, I mean, Landslide was an awfully long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And most of your listeners can sing it right now, And so, it's all about the song. And starting with that song and that story, make sure that it means something to the market that they're going after. And start there. And then after that, go into the other stuff.
Yep. Well, great. We're down to only about a minute. And so I really wanted to thank you so much for everything that I've gotten from you over the year, and for your sharing on the program today. And, it's amazing. I could pick your brain for hours and hours and hours.
You
on
did
so
once,
many different
remember?
subjects. Oh, I did many times.
First one's
Many
free.
times.
There, I said it.
Hey, I'm willing to come paint the house or whatever. I have a career right now because of the fact that you took your time to spend time with me and actually instill this stuff into me. And giving back like that is something that's super important to me. That's why I'm flying to Nashville to teach at Blackbird Academy in about 12 hours
great.
from now. Giving back is so important, and I so appreciate what you instilled into me.
Well, that's cool, man. That's great.
Great. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Sound Experience, powered by Intertalk Radio, the voice of the music biz. Remember, you can find everything about us at intertalkradio.com. You can also find me at timdolbear.com. And either place, you can send me emails, questions, comments, concerns, letters of support, harassment, whatever you feel like, send them. And most importantly, when it comes down to everything, I want you to go out there and make music. So enjoy the week, and I will talk to you all again soon. Take care.
Are Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Progressive Medical. Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and you know, Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.